Welcome to my YouTube channel, Stars. Hello guys, myself Tanya Singla. If you didn't yet subscribe my channel, so please do it fast, and for subscription you are required to press on the bell icon. Today's topic of discussion is monopoly market. In previous video we have studied what is perfect competition market. Now in this video it's time to study about monopoly market, monopolistic market and oligopoly market in thoroughly. So let's start. First of all, let's start with monopoly market. What is monopoly market? What is monopoly market? The term monopoly is derived from the Greek word monopoly, which means exclusive sale. Thus, pure monopoly is a market structure in which a single firm is the sole producer of a product and for which there are no close substitutes, since the monopolistic is the one seller in the market. It has neither rival nor direct competitors. Thus, the seller of the commodity has full control over its price. For example, you get your electricity supply from one agency, that is State Electricity Board. You travel for railway train owned and run by Government of India. All these are examples of monopoly. Furthermore, no other seller can enter the market. In monopoly, there is no distinction between firm and industry. The firm is the industry since it is the only producer in the market. The monopolist is the price maker. He determines the price, and price will determine how much he is able to sell. Its demand curve slopes downward to the right. So this is the introduction about monopoly market. Monopoly is a market situation in which there is a single seller, there are no close substitute for commodity it produces, there are barriers to entry. Since there is only one producer of product in the market, the distinction between firm and industry disappears. Now let's study the features of monopoly market. First feature is one seller and large number of buyers. Under monopoly, there is a single producer of a commodity. He may be alone of the there may be a group of partners or a joint stock company or a state. However, there is a large number of buyers of the product. Now, restriction on the entry of new firms. Under monopoly, there are some barriers or restriction on the entry of new firms into monopoly industry. This barrier may take several forms like patent right, government laws, economics of scale, etc. There is no competitor of a monopoly firm. No close substitute. The commodity produced by the firm should have no close substitute, otherwise the monopolist will not be able to determine the price of his commodity. As per the discretion, accordingly, a pure monopoly firm is one that produces such a commodity as has no effect substitute in the production of other firms. A monopoly firm produces a commodity that has no close substitute. For example, there is no close substitute of railway as a bulk carrier. Now, full control over price. Being a single seller, monopolist has full control over its price. And fix whatever price he wishes to fix for his product. Price discrimination. A monopolist may change different price for the different buyer. It is called price discrimination. Price discrimination refers to the practices of charging different price for the different buyer for the same good. So, price maker. A monopoly market is always a price maker because he is the only seller of the product in the whole market. That is why he is price maker. Absence of supply curve. The monopolist does not have a supply curve independent of demand. The monopolist simultaneously examines demand and cost when deciding how much to produce and what to charge. So these are the features of monopoly market. Now we will talk about competition. So far, we have studied two extreme situations of the market, perfect competition and monopoly, but the real life situation is the midway between these two extremes. This is also known as imperfect competition. Monopolistic competition is a market structure in which there are many sellers of commodity, but the product of each seller different from that of other seller in one respect or the other. Thus, product differentiation is a characteristic feature of monopolistic competition. This product differentiation manifests itself in several ways. For example, different brand of the product, different trademark, different in size, color and quality. It can also be in the same form of different in services and facilities offered to the consumer by the seller. Many examples can be cited to explain monopolistic competition. From producing variety of toothpaste such as Colgate, Pepsodent, Patanjali, etc. are the example of monopolistic competition. In this type of market, a firm is characterized by some feature of monopoly and some feature of perfect competition. It has element of monopoly because product differentiation provides the firm limited control over the price of the product. Accordingly, as under monopoly, each firm faces a negatively sloped demand curve. For example, Hindustan Unilever Limited enjoy monopoly right on the trademark Lux. No other country can name its soap as Lux. However, other firms can manufacture their bathing soap under their own trademarks such as Hammam, Breeze, Patanjali, etc. In other words, there is a freedom to produce substitute of Lux soap. It is similar to perfect competition because there are many firms in the market and there is a freedom of entry and exit. So monopolistic competition is a market situation where there are producers but each offer a slightly differentiated product. You can take the example of toothpaste. The many toothpaste companies are present in our market. So let's start with the feature, characteristics or assumption of the monopolistic competition. First, we will study large number of firms and buyers. As in the perfect competition, there is large number of buyer and seller. Also, the size of each firm is small. Each firm has a limited share of the market. Now, product differentiation. Product differentiation is a silent feature of monopolistic competition. It means that at any point of time, the consumer will be offered to a wide range of type, style, brand, and quality gradation of any given product. In other words, product differentiation refers to the situation wherein the buyer can distinguish one product from the other in one way or the another. Number of firms is large, but their product differ in one respect or the other. However, their products are close substitute. There are many instances of product differentiation such as Lux, Godrej, Hammam, Rexona, etc. Among bathing soaps, similarly, Colgate, Pepsodent, Patanjali among the toothpaste. Now, freedom of entry and exit of the firm. As in case of perfect competition, firms are free to enter and leave the industry at any time. Under monopolistic competition, here it may be noted that it has been used the term group rather than industry for a number of firms producing differentiated product under monopolistic competition. Selling cost. Each firm spread a lot of fund on advertisement and publicity of its product with a view to selling more and more units of the product. It gives wide publicity of its product in newspapers, cinemas, journal, radio, TVs, etc. The expenses so incurred are called selling costs. As we studied this in the lecture of cost, selling cost, partial control over price. Each firm has limited control on the price of its product. Average and marginal revenue curve of the firm under monopolistic competition slope downward, as in case of monopoly. It means if a firm wants to sell more unit of its product, it will have to lower the price per unit, or only less can be sold at the higher price. Product differentiation enables a firm under monopolistic competition to have limited control Limited mobility. Under monopolistic competition, neither the factor of production nor goods and services are perfectly mobile. Imperfect knowledge. Buyer and seller lack perfect knowledge about the price of the product because it is not possible to compare the product of different firm due to product differentiation. Buyer develop a liking for a particular brand of a wide range of differentiated product by a particular firm. They must buy it even if its price is a little higher than the product of other firms. Similarly, owner of the factor services are also not fully aware about the price of factor services being offered by the firm. So that is why we say there is imperfect knowledge. Non-price competition. Another feature of monopolistic competition is that different firms may compete with one another without changing the price of the product. Take out instance from producing washing powder, Surf Excel and Tide. With one pack of Surf Excel, the company may give a free gift of one tumbler. Likewise, with one pack of Tide, the another company may give a stainless steel spoon as a free gift. In this way, firms compete with each other in offering free gift and other services to attract more and more customers. Such a competitor is called non-price competition. Now, comparison between monopolistic and perfect competition. The first comparison is assumption regarding product. Under perfect competition, it is assumed that all firms produce homogeneous product, but under monopolistic competition, there is product differentiation. Good produced by the firm different in one way or another. Because of the differentiate, each firm is monopolistic of its own product. Assumption regarding number of buyers. Under perfect competition, there are a large number of sellers of homogeneous product. Group of such sellers contribute industry. No seller by his individual action can influence other seller. But under imperfect competition, number of sellers is more than one. Many such sellers are collectively called group. They produce differentiated product. In both these market situations, there are a large number of sellers. Assumption regarding degree of knowledge. Under perfect competition, it is assumed that buyer and seller have perfect knowledge of the market condition. On the contrary, buyers and sellers under monopolistic competition are not fully aware of the market condition. Assumption regarding shape of the demand curve. Under perfect competition, due to large number of firms and homogeneous product, demand curve is perfectly elastic. As you can see in the figure that it is parallel to x-axis. But under monopolistic market, average revenue and margin value are represented by a single curve PP, which is parallel to x-axis. It is a situation of price to product is determined by the industry and each firm has got to accept that price. Firm therefore is a price taker. On the contrary, under monopolistic competition, average revenue curves slope downward as shown in figure. AR and MR curves are not only separate downward sloping curve, but MR curve is below AR curve also. Under monopolistic competition, firm is price maker and in case of monopoly, as in case of monopoly. Now, implication regarding decisions. Under perfect competition, a firm can take decision only with regard to the quantity of output to be produced. But a firm under monopolistic competition can determine either the output to be produced or the price to be charged. Now, implication regarding condition of maximum profit. According to the marginal analysis, decision regarding achievement of equilibrium position, both under perfect and monopolistic competition can be taken on the basis of following principle that equilibrium is equal to margin revenue is equal to marginal cost. It proves that under both market condition, position of equilibrium is achieved when output is produced up to a level of where margin cost is equal to marginal revenue. Now, comparison regarding profit. In the short run, a firm, whether in perfect competition or the monopolistic competition, may earn supernormal profit, normal profit, or even suffer losses. But in the long run, under both type of market, a firm earns only normal profit. However, under monopolistic competition, there can be some Now let's study about a comparison between monopolistic competition and monopoly. After studying the comparison between monopolistic and perfect competition market, it's time to study about comparison between monopolistic competition and monopoly. So let's start. Assumption regarding product. Product of monopolists may or may not be homogeneous. However, product differentiation is an important feature of monopolistic competition. Assumption regarding entry. In case of monopoly, there is only one seller and large number of buyers. Under monopolistic competition, there are large number of buyers and seller producing close substitute. Assumption regarding degree of knowledge. Under monopoly, it is assumed that buyer and seller have perfect knowledge regarding the market condition, but under monopolistic competition, buyer and seller have imperfect knowledge of the market condition. Comparison regarding profit. In the short run, the monopolistic have and under monopolistic competition may earn supernormal profit, normal profit, or may even suffer losses. But in the long run, where a monopolist earns supernormal profit, a firm under monopolistic competition generally earn normal profit only. Now, different average and margin revenue curve. There is different average and margin revenue curve in monopolistic market and monopoly market. Under monopoly, average revenue and margin revenue curve are two separate curves. AR represent price of different unit of and MR curve represent margin revenue of different unit. Both the curve are downward sloping, meaning thereby that if the monopoly intends selling more unit, he will be lower the price per unit. But under monopolistic competition, also AR and MR curve are two separate curves. As shown in figure, they slope downward from left to right, but both these curves are more elastic than the curve under monopoly. So, through this diagram, one question also arises that which curve is more flatter? In monopoly market and monopolistic market, slope of demand curve are downward, but in monopoly market, demand curve is less elastic than monopolistic competition market. Because in monopoly market, they have no close substitute of product, but in monopolistic competition market, they have close substitute. So this is the answer that why the curve is more flatter. Now, what is oligopoly market? We have studied about perfect competition, monopoly and monopolistic. It's time to study about the oligopoly market. Oligopoly example, there are only a few brands. So this is known as oligopoly market. Thanks guys for watching video, and don't forget to like my videos.